Hey everybody, this is Perch. Let's get some positivity here. So, by the way, I realize when I start recording, I come in hot. Like, hey everybody, it's Perch. I'm almost shouting into this little Bose headset that I'm recording with. I still wish it had a better microphone. I'm sure there's a better way to do it, but my general setup here on the Perch show is I got a little nice Bose headset or earpiece. It's here. It's supposed to have a 3-point microphone that presents great audio quality. Clearly, you're listening to this now, and that's a bunch of horseshit marketing. But anyway, that's the plan. I'm recording right now. It's Bluetooth connected, which is part of the problem, to be honest. To an iPhone 14, we're using a product called what the fuck is this product? A voice record. That's very fancy. It's got a little maroon icon with a little old-fashioned microphone on it. Allows you to do a couple things in terms of audio sequencing and storing up in the cloud and other stuff. So it's a decent program. I just wish the audio quality was better. But I'm doing this while I'm driving down the road, which is the case. I'm going to come up at a stoplight here in a minute, read this mail, because I do drive safe, believe it or not. Or at least if I get pulled over speeding, I edit those parts out of the video, so you'd never know they existed. But anyway, let's see what we have here. This mail is about Fantastic Four, which they just relaunched, which I am not in favor of, but they did do it. And this is a mail of positivity. So it says, Ryan North's Fantastic Four, a lot better than Dan Slott. Okay, I'll take that challenge. Let's see what the mail says before I give my opinion on the title, and then we'll try and keep it positive here. It says, Perch, hey there. I was wondering if you've been reading Ryan North's Fantastic Four issues. I've read the first two. I think that Iban Coelho has been doing a great job with the art. And I like Ryan North's writing a lot better than what Dan Slott did. I like that Ryan North is allowed to write one-issue, self-contained stories before the crazy trend to stretch out a story arc for a collected trade. Issue number 2, I think, is great because Ryan North focuses on Reed and Sue, and then shows why Sue loves Reed so much. I'm reading this weird, and shows why Sue loves Reed so much. Dan Slott, for whatever reason, couldn't come close to what Ryan North is doing. Well, it's because Dan Slott, I think struggles with women. Oh, you thought I was going to say something else? I'm pretty sure that's the reason. I don't know what Ryan North's deal is, but whenever Dan Slott writes relationships, and by the way, this is going to sound like I'm attacking him or slamming on him, but this is just an observation. Having read his She-Hulk, his Fantastic Four, his Spider-Man, his Iron Man, his relationships are weird. He writes them very, very strange. It is not his strong suit. And by the way, I'll pay him a compliment because I think that Dan Slott, clearly only an idiot. There is a sales analysis video, by the way, of Dan Slott's I'm all too many titles. Dan Slott's Spider-Man. There's a sales analysis video on this very channel. You can go check it out right now. Go to the playlist, look for Dan Slott's Spider-Man. He sold a lot of copies of Spider-Man. There was an aspect of Dan Slott's writing that leaned into kind of the episodic adventure of Spider-Man, and I think he completely jumped the shark and lost the plot with the Peter Parker's rich shit that went on there. But by and large, Dan Slott wrote in a commercial-friendly way that sold copies of the book. It's undeniable. You could look at the numbers. He did well. He did better than the people before and better than the people following after. But his relationships were bizarre. It was like an AI wrote what a marriage is like. It did not come across well. And I think in Fantastic Four, it was the most wooden. Part of the magic of Fantastic Four, when various people have written it, and including going back, Stan Lee, certainly John Byrne, Walt Simonson, others who have written Jonathan Hickman. The magic that gets portrayed is in the kind of when they talk about Reed and Sue and the family type adventure, you feel a genuine warmth. When the series is good, you feel a warmth to those characters. And Slott's run of Fantastic Four, the characters felt bizarrely wooden. It did not interact well. And again, I think he writes commercially successful for adventures and things. So that's all I'm saying. Anyway, let's finish up the mail here. It says, I personally think that so far, Ryan North's Fantastic Four book is a great read that's much needed at Marvel Comics. And heck, there's even a letters page. If you've been reading Ryan North's Fantastic Four, what do you think about the new Fantastic Four book? Thanks for all you do. Cool. Thank you for the mail, and I appreciate the here's something I like positivity that we're getting in this letter. So thank you very much. So like I said, I've read the first 2 issues of Fantastic Four. I don't like it. So, yeah, pop that bubble. No, I think I want to like it. I legitimately want to like it. Fantastic Four is a book that I honestly love. I think I'm one of the people who, and this, you can all call me crazy in the comments. Jonathan Hickman's run was okay. I think that he nailed some of the story elements right, kind of the relationship, the family, what I referred to earlier. I think he did that correctly. But I also feel like some of the warmth and the adventure of the series that Stan Lee, I think Roy Thomas did some Fantastic Four, didn't he? Or am I imagining things? John Byrne, Walt Simonson. We've seen some other writers, even Chris Claremont, in his brief run. Nobody ever really remembers his Fantastic Four run. I think that there's a warmth to the family. There's a adventurer's spirit. So DC is trying to do with the Challengers of the Unknown. There's an element there that I think that Hickman, as much as his series was applauded, missed. As I mentioned, as I went into it, I didn't like the Matt Fraction run of the Fantastic Four. A lot of that, it's kind of been downhill for a while. The Dan Slott run was dreadful, I think, in a lot of ways. In weird elements. The whole thing with Johnny Storm and the soul bond, to the other character, it read like somebody was trying to pretend what a relationship was like. That's how it came across. So, I wasn't a fan. I've read 2 issues of Ryan North. It's too early to say. But I just, it's better. Again, it's better than what Dan Slott was doing. I do agree with you there. But it's still missing that element of, it's like, what I think the Fantastic Four needs is a writer who comes in and bravely, boldly does not care about being called like old-fashioned or putting out something that is dated. The idea of kind of a space adventuring family is dated, doesn't work. I want a writer who doesn't give a shit about any of that and just, brazenly, boldly goes in there and it's like, you know what, fuck it, we're going to tell a story about a family of 4 people and kind of the extended elements of that, and they're just going to go have adventures, and they're going to go to, it's going to be, we don't care about the cheese factor, we're just going to go in, they're going to go and explore the unknown. I don't care how old-fashioned that sounds, I don't care if it feels like a 1950s pulp story, it's going to be, that's what we're going to do. We're going to explore the unknown, and we're going to try and crack, some of this fun kind of throwback storytelling. That's what this comic is all about. That's what I want to see. I think North, he's done these 2 issues. They've both been kind of standalone stories. We're leading up to what happened in Manhattan, where Johnny Storm blew up several city blocks. I don't know, whatever. You know what? I'll give it this. Ryan North may get there. In fairness, North is not my favorite writer. I think I've disliked more of what he's done than liked. I think he tends to write very short-term thinking kind of stories. I don't feel like they have much meat or depth. For what it's worth, and I've just barely met Ryan North. I met him once, and it was just brief. Seemed like a nice guy. So this is not personal. The guy seemed, quite fine. Quite nice. It's all good. Here's what I hope for him. This is what I want to do. In 6 months, I want to come back and eat my words a little bit and say, he did these kind of standalone stories to kind of highlight the characters, but then he quickly transitioned into a star-spanning, multiverse, time-traveling span, like a wild, sprawling exploration adventure where we learn that like these heroes have each other's back, and they they love each other because they're a family and they're exploring the impossible, and there's something really cool about that. That's what I want. That is what I want this comic to be. And pull it off. If Ryan North can pull it off, I will personally come on here. I will do a video saying, God bless Ryan North. Love that he brought this spirit to this comic. That's what I want to see. But I'm very happy you like it. I'm glad. So the person who wrote in to this to the show with this letter, I'm glad you found that a book you like, and I absolutely agree that it is superior to the Dan Slott era on this book, and I hope for good things to come. So how are you liking it? Are you reading Fantastic Four? What do you think? Is it good? Is it bad? Are you enjoying it? Are you hating it? How is the book for you? What do you want to see out of a Fantastic Four book? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe, of course, and thanks for listening.